అండ్ అదేవిధంగా క్వశ్చన్స్ కూడా మీ ఫ్రెండ్స్ అందరూ కూడా షేర్ చేయండి ఫ్రెండ్స్. 99 వేవ్ ప్రొపగేషన్ యొక్క ఇంపార్టెంట్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఏడబ్ల్యూపీ యూనిట్ వైజ్గా చూద్దాం ఫ్రెండ్స్. యూనిట్ 1, డిఫైన్ ద ఫాలోయింగ్ బీమ్ ఏరియా పోలరైజేషన్. Second question, what is radiation? Explain the antenna radiation pattern. Third question, derive the relation between the directivity and gain. From the derive the relation between the directivity and beam width. And derive the free phase transmission equation and discuss the terms isotropic, omnidirectional and principal patterns. Fifth question, explain the concept of retarded scalar and vector potential. Sixth question, derive the expression for power radiated and radiation resistance of alternating current element. Seventh question, derive the fields of a short electrical dipole. Eighth question, derive the expression for retarded current using Maxwell equation approach. Ninth question, derive the expansion for radiation fields of a center field of wavelength dipole antenna. Sketch the radiation pattern. 10th question, derive the radiating resistance and radiated power of wave dipoles. 11th question, derive the expression for a far field components of a small loop antenna. And 12th question, derive the expression for a far field components of a loop antenna if of any radius. And unit 2 అయితే మనకు what are the advantages of antenna arrays? Explain the types of antenna arrays. Second question, determine the field due to the array of 2-point sources of a same amplitude and in phase at a distance of r. B, array of 2-point sources of a same amplitude and opposite phase at a distance of r. And third question అయితే explain the concept of multiplication of pattern principle in the design of arrays. Fourth question, write the expression of principle of pattern multiplication and consider an array of 4 elements. Fifth question ఏంటంటే derive the field strength of a uniform linear array. Sixth question, derive an expression for the radiation pattern of a broadside uniform linear array of 4 elements with lambda by 2 spacing and obtain its radiation pattern. Seventh question, obtain the expression for the BWFN of a broadside array and compare the same with that of an end fire array. Eighth question, find the array factor and plot the normalized radiation pattern of a broadside array of a 5 isotropic radiation of a spacing lambda by 2. What is a linear array? Ninth question, compare a broadside array and end fire array. 10th question, an end fire array consisting of several half wavelength long isotropic radiators having a directivity gain of 30. Find the length of an array of a broadside antenna. 11th question, explain in detail about the binomial array of it and differentiate with the linear array. 12th question, derive the expression for a array factor of a linear broadside array of an isotropic elements. 13th question, list different sources of errors in antenna measurements. 14th question, discuss about the measurement of an antenna patterns in detail. 15th question, with a neat block diagram explain the measurement method of the gain of a horn antenna by absolute method. 16th question, with a neat sketch explain how gain measurement is carried out using direct comparison method. 17th question, explain the 3 antenna method of measurement of the gain of horn antenna with the necessary relations. 18th question, explain the method of measuring impedance of an antenna. మన థర్డ్ యూనిట్కి వచ్చేసినట్టే థర్డ్ యూనిట్లో మనకు వాట్ ఈజ్ అ పారాసిటిక్ ఎలిమెంట్, ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ ద వెన్ ద పారాసిటిక్ ఎలిమెంట్ యాక్ట్ యాజ్ ఎ రిఫ్లెక్టర్ అండ్ డైరెక్టర్ విత్ ద హెల్ప్ ఆఫ్ నీట్ డయాగ్రామ్. సెకండ్ క్వశ్చన్, explain the operation of Yagi-Uda antenna and write its applications. Third question, explain the operation of any one VHF antenna and write their characteristics. Fourth question, design a Yagi-Uda antenna of its 6 elements to provide a gain of 12 dB if the operating frequency is 200 MHz. Fifth question, describe about the following folded dipole antenna and Yagi-Uda antenna. And sixth question, list the features and advantages of folded dipole antenna. Seventh question, draw and explain about helical antenna and write its applications. Eighth question, give the features of horn antenna. Ninth question, explain the design and the operation principle of pyramidal horn monopole. 10th question, give the radiation properties of different types of waveguide horns. 11th question, the aperture dimension of a pyramidal horn are 12 into 6 centimeters. It is operating at a frequency 6 GHz. Find the power and gain and directivity. And unit 4 అయితే list the silent features of microstrip antenna. Second question, explain about the rectangular patch antenna and write its characteristics. Third question, explain in detail flat sheet and corner reflector of antenna detail. Explain the characteristics of an active corner reflector with the help of image principle. Fifth question, explain the geometry of put a reflector with a neat diagram. Sixth question, compare the different feeding methods that are associated with the parabolic reflector. Seventh question, with reference to paraboloids, explain the following. In the aperture efficiency, front to back ratio, aperture blocking, F by D ratio, spill over. And eighth question, calculate the 3 dB beam width and power gain of a parabolic antenna at a frequency of 1.6 GHz with a 2.4 meter diameter and 48% antenna efficiency. Ninth question, for a parabolic reflector antenna with 1.8 meter diameter operating at 2 GHz, find the power gain. And 10th question, for a parabolic reflector of 7.5 meters diameter and at a 4 GHz, find the BWFN, HP BW directivity and effective aperture. And last and final unit, fifth unit, explain the and specify the range of frequencies for a propagation, ground wave propagation, surface wave and space wave and sky waves. Second question, briefly explain the plane earth reflection in ground wave. Third question, discuss how the space wave and surface wave are reflected to ground wave. Fourth question, discuss the silent features of ground wave propagation. Fifth question, sketch and explain the field strength variation of a space wave with the distance and antenna height, deriving the expression for the same. Sixth question, in respect to of tropospheric propagation, discuss the effect of curvature of the path and earth radius and earth curvature. And seventh question, explain the concept of super refraction. And eighth question, discuss the silent features of sky wave propagation, bring out the various problems. Ninth question, describe the troposphere and explain the how duct and can be used for microwave propagation associated with this mode of propagation. 10th question, explain the structure of ionosphere. 11th question, explain in brief about the following terms with respect to the wave propagation. In critical frequency, first BM MUF, third skip distance, fourth virtual height. 12th question, briefly explain the tropospheric propagation and multi-hope propagation. 13th question, discuss about the atmospheric effect in space wave propagation. ఇది మొత్తం 5 యూనిట్స్ సంబంధించిన ఏడబ్ల్యూపీ యాంటీనా అండ్ వేవ్ ప్రొపగేషన్ యొక్క ఇంపార్టెంట్ క్వశ్చన్స్. ఇంకా మీకు ఏదైనా సబ్జెక్ట్ పరంగా ఇంపార్టెంట్ క్వశ్చన్స్ కావాలనుకుంటే కింద కామెంట్ సెక్షన్లో కామెంట్ చేయండి. అండ్ ఈ ఇంపార్టెంట్ క్వశ్చన్స్ అనేవి మీ ఫ్రెండ్స్ కూడా షేర్ చేయండి. అండ్ నా ఛానల్ని సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి ఫర్ మోర్ అప్డేట్స్ ఆఫ్ JNTH.